Can I ask you something a little personal? Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why? Or stood in front of your fridge, staring, not quite sure what you were looking for? You laugh it off and say, "Oh, it's just age." But what if it's not? I've been a neurologist for over 30 years. And let me tell you, this memory loss isn't always about getting older. Sometimes it's your brain's way of whispering for help. And if you're over 60, I want you to lean in for a moment because this might matter more than you think. According to the National Institute on Aging, about 1 in 5 Americans over the age of 65 experience mild cognitive impairment. That's 1 out of every 5. And while not every lapse means dementia, some are early warnings. But here's the truth I've learned after 3 decades with patients. The body never forgets. The brain always gives signals. We just don't always listen. In today's video, we'll walk through the gentle signs, the dangerous ones, and the powerful ways to respond, starting with something as simple as breakfast. But before we begin, if you've ever forgotten why you opened a drawer or repeated a story without realizing, drop a number 1 in the comments. If you've never experienced that, leave a 0. Let's be honest with each other here. You're not alone. And if this topic touches your heart, I invite you to subscribe and hit the bell icon so we don't lose connection. Let's protect your brain before it needs saving. Number 1, the red flags that families miss until it's too late. Let me tell you a story about someone I'll call Henry. Henry is 71, retired firefighter, strong hands, big heart, still sharp with humor. But over the past year, something began to change. He started asking the same question multiple times in one afternoon. He'd lose his car keys not just once, but several times a week. Then, one day, he took a wrong turn. Not in a new city. In his own neighborhood where he'd lived for over 25 years. His wife, Linda, thought it was just senior moments, but I knew it was more. These aren't just forgetful habits. These are red flags. And here's the problem. Most families don't notice these signs until it's already too late. We often dismiss memory issues as part of aging. But when you or someone you love starts repeating the same stories, losing track of what day it is, getting frustrated during simple conversations, or struggling to follow directions they used to know by heart. These are not just little lapses. They're early clues. According to the Alzheimer's Association, nearly 6.9 million Americans over age 65 are living with Alzheimer's disease right now. That's more than the population of the entire state of Massachusetts. And yet, studies from the Mayo Clinic reveal that over 1/2 of early Alzheimer's cases go undiagnosed, mostly because families ignore or misread the early signs. That breaks my heart because I've seen firsthand what happens when diagnosis is delayed. The window for slowing down the disease starts to close. But when families speak up early, I've also seen something else. Hope, healing, and strength returning. Let me say this plainly if you or someone you love has gotten lost in a familiar place, forgotten words they used to use daily, or seems to blank out in the middle of a sentence. Please, don't ignore it. These signs may be subtle, but they are not random. Your brain, or their brain, is trying to say something. And the earlier you listen, the better your chances to help it heal. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to walk with you. As someone who sat with hundreds of patients like Henry, I can promise you are not overreacting. You are being wise. Drop a comment below if this story reminds you of someone you care about. Even if you're unsure, just say, "Thinking of my dad," or "sounds like my friend." You never know who else might be scrolling and feeling the same fear, but too afraid to speak it. And if you're still watching, that means you care. So stay with me, because in the next part, I'll show you something surprising. Memory loss isn't always Alzheimer's. Sometimes it's your thyroid, or your medications, or even something as simple as dehydration. Let's keep walking together. Number 2, memory loss isn't always Alzheimer's, one of surprising causes. You need to know, let me be very clear, just because you're forgetting things doesn't mean it's Alzheimer's. In fact, there are many other reasons why memory may slip, especially after the age of 60. And the good news is, some of these causes are treatable, some are even reversible. Let's walk through them together. One of the most overlooked causes is dehydration. Your brain is about 75% water. When you're even mildly dehydrated, your brain function can slow down. According to Harvard Health, dehydration in older adults can lead to confusion, poor concentration, and yes, memory issues. You don't need to be sweating or exercising to lose water. Simply not drinking enough during the day can do it. Another common and silent culprit is medication side effects. Several prescription drugs, especially those used to treat anxiety, insomnia, allergies, and high blood pressure, may cause cognitive fog or memory lapses. According to Mayo Clinic, medications like benzodiazepines, antihistamines, muscle relaxants, and sleeping pills can interfere with neurotransmitters in the brain. Over time, that adds up. So if you've recently changed or started a new medication, or if you've been taking something for years that was never reviewed, that could be part of the problem. A third root cause is thyroid dysfunction. Your thyroid gland controls many of your body's essential functions, including energy balance and brain metabolism. When it slows down a condition called hypothyroidism, you might feel mentally sluggish, forgetful, or easily overwhelmed. WebMD reports that an underactive thyroid affects about 5% of Americans, with higher rates in women and older adults. The kicker: it's often misdiagnosed as early dementia. Then there's the impact of vitamin B12 deficiency. B12 is crucial for nerve health and brain function. Without enough, your brain may struggle to process information and form memories. The National Institutes of Health estimates that between 3% and 43% of older adults may have low B12 levels, depending on diet, medications, and absorption issues. That's a wide range, but even the lower end is serious enough to warrant attention. And let's not forget about mental health. Depression, anxiety, and chronic stress can all mimic cognitive decline. When you feel emotionally drained, your brain's working memory, the system that handles short-term focus and recall, is under strain. In some cases, this is known as pseudo-dementia, a reversible condition that looks like memory loss, but is actually caused by emotional imbalance. The important takeaway: not all memory loss is neurological. Sometimes it's nutritional. Sometimes it's hormonal. Sometimes it's emotional. And sometimes it's just about water. That's why you should never jump to conclusions. Before you assume it's Alzheimer's, check your hydration, review your medications, ask for a thyroid panel, get your B12 checked, and talk openly about how you've been feeling lately, not just in your head, but in your heart. The brain is part of your whole body, and your body speaks in many ways, not just through forgetting, but through fatigue, through mood shifts, through subtle whispers. Your job is not to fear those whispers. Your job is to listen And now that you know some of the surprising causes, you're already ahead of the curve. In the comments below, let me know, have you ever had a medication or health issue that made your memory worse but wasn't Alzheimer's? You might help someone else just by sharing. And in the next section, we'll talk about what to expect when you go in for a proper memory evaluation. Because the process doesn't have to be scary, sometimes knowing is the most powerful step toward healing. Number 3, a simple visit can save your brain what to expect from a real diagnosis. Let's be honest. Many people over 60 feel nervous about seeing a neurologist. You might think, what if they tell me I have dementia? Or worse, what if they don't believe me at all? That fear is real. But here's the truth. Getting checked early can actually give you more peace of mind, not less. Let me walk you through what a real memory evaluation looks like. Step by step. No white coat pressure. Just you, being proactive for yourself or for someone you love. Step 1, a listening ear. The first step is simply a conversation, not a test, not a scan, just talking. A good doctor will ask questions about your daily life. Have you been forgetting appointments? Do you feel overwhelmed trying to follow instructions? Have others noticed changes in your behavior? You'll talk about your medical history, any medications you take, your sleep habits, mood, and nutrition. And most of all, they will listen. Because the brain doesn't give up its story in a single sentence. Step 2, basic blood tests. After that, you may be asked to do a few simple lab tests. This helps rule out other causes of memory loss, like low thyroid hormone, vitamin B12 deficiency, infection, dehydration, liver or kidney function issues. According to the Cleveland Clinic, these conditions are often missed at home, but easily identified in a basic panel. Step 3, cognitive screening. Next comes a short memory assessment. These tests are gentle, no needles, no machines. You might be asked to repeat a list of words. Name as many animals as you can in 1 minute. Draw a simple shape. Follow multi-step directions. They're not about passing or failing. They're about understanding how your brain is working right now. Step 4, brain imaging, if needed. If there's still concern, your doctor may order a CT scan or MRI. This helps detect physical issues like brain shrinkage, strokes, or tumors. It's completely painless and usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes. You don't have to memorize medical terms. Your doctor will walk you through every image and what it means. Step 5, a plan. You can actually follow. The best part, you don't just walk out with a label. You walk out with a roadmap. If the cause is reversible, like B12 deficiency or medication interaction, the plan is clear and hopeful. If the signs point to mild cognitive impairment or early dementia, the plan becomes about slowing progression, protecting function, and building support. And you may be referred to a neurologist, geriatrician, or memory clinic. You may be guided on lifestyle changes, brain exercises, supplements, or medications. But most of all, you leave knowing. And that is powerful because not knowing steals more energy than any diagnosis ever could. If you've ever delayed seeing a doctor because of fear, tell me in the comments below. Just type yes. I was scared too. You're not alone. And if you're still with me, you've already taken the first step, being open. In the next section, we'll look at the biggest mistake most people make when it comes to memory loss and how to avoid it gently and wisely. So stay close. Your brain is worth it. Number 4, the big mistake. waiting too long to see a neurologist. Let me say something that's hard but necessary. The biggest mistake I've seen in 30 years of practice is waiting. Waiting until memory loss becomes undeniable. Waiting until someone forgets where they are. Waiting until the family is in panic or worse, in denial. And I get it. No one wants to walk into a doctor's office and hear the words brain scan or cognitive decline. There's fear, there's shame, and sometimes there's hope that maybe it'll go away on its own. But here's the truth. The brain doesn't heal through silence. It heals through awareness. When we wait too long, we lose something precious. Not just time, but opportunity. According to the Alzheimer's Association, most people diagnosed with Alzheimer's waited 2 to 3 years after symptoms first appeared to see a specialist. And during that time, valuable brain function was quietly slipping away. They could have started treatment sooner. They could have planned better. They could have had more time to live fully with dignity and clarity. But they waited, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of pride, sometimes because a well-meaning friend said, "You're fine. It's just normal aging." Let me tell you, something with love, normal aging should not erase who you are. It should not make you afraid to speak. And it should never stop you from seeking answers. Getting checked early doesn't mean you're broken. It means you care enough to pay attention. It means you still want to protect your story, your memories, your name, your sense of self. Because that's what memory really is. It's not just facts or names. It's you. And no one deserves to lose themselves silently. The earlier we step in, the more we can do. We can catch reversible causes. We can slow down progressive ones. We can build routines that support your brain every day before the damage is deep. This isn't about being alarmist. It's about being alive. I've seen patients who waited too long, and their regret wasn't about the diagnosis. It was about the time they lost pretending everything was fine. So if you're on the fence right now, thinking, maybe I should call someone, please, let this be your sign. Don't wait for your brain to scream. Listen when it whispers, because that whisper is your chance. If you've ever told yourself, "I'll get it checked later," write the word "later" in the comments. Let's start a real conversation about what it costs to delay. And if you're still with me, thank you. You are part of a rare group people who choose awareness over avoidance. In the final part of this video, I'll show you something powerful, simple, science-backed ways to strengthen your brain starting today. Not with pills or promises, but with small habits that make a big difference. Let's finish this journey together. Number 5, gentle, natural ways to strengthen brain health. After 60, so you've made it this far, you've opened your heart, you faced the fear, and now you're ready to act. But not with panic, not with pills, with wisdom, with calm, with real science-backed habits. Let me walk you through 5 gentle ways to support your brain starting today. 1, move every day, even just a little. You don't need to run marathons, but you do need to move. The National Institute on Aging found that just 30 minutes of walking per day improves blood flow to the brain, boosting memory and mood. Movement helps deliver oxygen, clear out waste, and spark the release of brain protective proteins. Even standing up and stretching every hour matters. Every step says to your brain, "I'm alive. I'm here. Keep going." 2, feed your brain, not just your stomach. Your brain is hungry for real food. Harvard Medical School recommends a Mediterranean-style diet leafy greens, fish rich in omega 3s, olive oil, whole grains, and nuts. Why? Because these foods reduce inflammation and support neuronal health. Think of it like this: every bite can either fuel your focus or fog your mind. Cutting down on added sugar, especially in breakfast cereals and packaged snacks, can dramatically reduce brain fog. Even 1 extra teaspoon of sugar a day can affect memory function over time. So the next time you eat, ask, is this feeding my brain or just filling my plate? 3. Sleep with intention, not accident. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a memory tool. During deep sleep, your brain cleans out toxins, consolidates new memories, and resets emotional balance. According to Mayo Clinic, adults over 60 need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night. That includes minimizing screen time before bed, keeping the bedroom cool and dark, and creating a relaxing bedtime routine. Your brain does its most important housekeeping while you rest. So sleep isn't doing nothing, it's doing repair. 4. Talk, laugh, and stay curious. Social connection is medicine. Studies from Johns Hopkins University show that people with strong social ties have a 26% lower risk of cognitive decline. So talk with friends, call your sister, join a local book club or walking group, and don't stop being curious. Whether it's learning a new recipe, reading a new book, or watching a new documentary, mental stimulation keeps your brain young. Curiosity is the antidote to decline. 5. Breathe slowly with purpose. This one may surprise you, but deep breathing done intentionally reduces stress hormones that damage brain tissue. Just 5 minutes a day of slow, rhythmic breathing can lower cortisol levels, improve blood pressure, and help your brain return to a calm, focused state. You don't need apps, just sit, close your eyes. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. This small habit teaches your nervous system I'm safe. I can focus. I can remember. Each of these habits may seem small, but together they create a rhythm, a daily signal to your brain that it matters, that you're still growing, I'm still learning, still here. In the comments, share one habit you already do or one you're willing to try. Let's build a space of encouragement. And in the final section coming up, I'll share a gentle but powerful message to wrap this journey with hope, clarity, and purpose. Because protecting your brain is the most human thing you can do. Number 6, don't be afraid, be aware, and you'll stay sharp longer than you think. Let's take a breath right here, right now. You've just walked through some of the hardest questions anyone can ask themselves. Am I forgetting too much? Is something wrong with my brain? Am I losing myself? And yet here you are, still watching, still curious, still showing up for your health. That alone is a victory, because you're doing what so many people are too afraid to do. You're facing memory loss with open eyes and an open heart. That is courage, not fear. So let me remind you of this. Memory loss doesn't have to be a slow fade. It can be a signal. It can be a doorway. It can be your body saying, now is the time to listen. And when you listen early with compassion and clarity, your chances of staying sharp, focused, and independent increase dramatically. Not just for 1 year, but for 5, 10, even 15. You have more control than you think. More hope than you've been told, and more resilience than you probably realize. Because the brain is not just a machine, it's a garden. What you water grows. So let's keep watering the right things. Movement, connection, nourishment, rest, curiosity, courage. Every small decision you make today becomes a gift for your future self. And if you forget again tomorrow, it's okay. You're still worth the effort. I want to invite you now, in the comments, tell me one thing you'll do differently this week to care for your brain. Even if it's just drinking more water, even if it's calling a friend, even if it's simply saying, I'm ready to listen to my body. Let's remind each other, aging isn't the end. It's the beginning of a wiser way of living. And before we go, I want to leave you with one last idea. The brain is not something to fear, it's something to befriend. So go gently, go wisely, and go with the awareness that you are never alone. In the next video, I'll be sharing something just as important. These 7 superfoods help boost brain health. According to experts, you won't want to miss that. Until then, take care of your mind, because your story is not over and your brain still has more to give.